We are live,
We are live.
but you can't see us. Okay. So it turns out I set up the webcam wrong, but that's okay.
It looks a little blurry.
Yeah, it's good enough.
This is like the really expensive webcams. Now, this is the first time we've used this webcam
Yeah.
and speaker. So if you guys can't hear us, let us know. We did one. I did one with Leighton like 5 minutes in. Somebody's like, "You have no sound." We're like, "Fuck! Why didn't y'all tell us?" But yeah, it's a brand new webcam that my awesome girlfriend bought for me for Christmas, and it's the first time we're using it. We're still figuring it out.
I learned how to set it up on her computer. I haven't really learned how to set it up on mine.
We should have used that.
Yeah, probably right.
As long as it's working. I just figured we could make it a little clearer, but
I think we're good enough.
All right. It also might be the computer. Let's see. We getting some people in here yet?
Yeah, we got 3.
Yeah. I was waiting until we had some viewers to start shedding clothes. Because I mean, I gotta make it look genuine. Like it really is getting hot in here. I'm gonna turn down the AC, which kind of is getting hot in here. Is it 10 more people and it'll be really hot enough to take this off? I have this badass crocodile tooth necklace that VK got for me on vacation. Where'd you buy it?
Costa
Rica. So yeah, it's also got like it kind of looks turquoise, but it's not. I don't know what kind of stone that is, but we got matching ones. He didn't bring his.
I forgot it.
He's not wearing his. I'm wearing mine, but he is not wearing his. So we can't show him off.
I know it's literally hanging around the fucking handle to my door.
Well, I'm actually kind of glad he forgot it because his is a little bit bigger than mine. Yeah, it's definitely longer and a little bit fatter too. Like he definitely kept the biggest tooth, but he gave me the little one, which I mean, in the spirit of realism, I can appreciate his sense of humor. But anyway, I got the biggest one tonight.
You do.
I'm the only one that has one.
I'm with the snake thing I got from Spencer's like 9 years ago. I don't know how long I've had this thing.
The thing was setting off the EMF meter earlier, so I guess you had it for a while. All right.
Hello, everybody.
Everybody got them a beer? He's got Land Shark, and I've got Corona Extra. 2 of my favorite beers.
Yeah, those are both real good.
Yeah.
We got the Order of the Black Dragon here. Jeremiah Smith, Cheese God, Lena.
Cheese God.
That's
what it says.
Yep.
Dude, why didn't I think of that? Dude. Yeah, is that name for sale? I want to start my own another YouTube channel just called Cheese God.
I imagine it must be based off some type of inside joke he has with his friends or something.
Maybe they made an egregore that really is like the god of cheese.
Oh, I already did that.
Oh, okay.
We got
okay. Never mind.
Why Trump get his ears pierced with a sniper rifle?
Yeah, we probably shouldn't talk about that incident too much, but yeah, I thought that was a pretty definitely not a professional attempt. That seemed like some fucking wacko that got close enough to take a pot shot. And I heard they actually hit and killed one other person, which seemed like it would have been more since there was a crowd behind him. But, anyway, yeah, he got his ear pierced. It looked like on the video, and he was like, "Oh," and they're like getting him off the stage. He didn't even give a shit. He acted like it didn't faze him at all. He was like a bug fucking bit him. You know, he's talking. He's like, you hear the first shot, pew, and he's like it was like a fucking bee landed on him or something. And then you hear like, ta, 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 and then it took forever for the Secret Service to surround him. And they're not supposed to just surround him. They're supposed to fucking like tackle him, you know?
Yeah.
And how did somebody get that close with a shitty little, it sounded like a 22 or something. It didn't sound very loud. And, you know, like, you shouldn't be able to get within 1,000 yards of our president with a firearm if you're not Secret Service. So the whole thing is interesting. I'll say that.
Yeah, you think? I'm pretty sure. Don't they have background checks for political rallies?
I doubt it. There's so many crazy people at those things. Like, there's no way.
Huh. Never been to one.
I'm just saying, like, the whole thing, like, somebody wasn't doing their fucking job. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
The shooter wasn't either.
Yeah.
Behemoth X is here. He says, "What's up, boys? Happy to see you guys on."
What's up, brother? Definitely give a shout out to Behemoth X. He's one of our very best friends and one of the baddest magicians and solid men, good dudes out there. So, man,
For
it's
sure.
awesome. Thanks for coming on, brother.
Yeah, I'm glad. Great to have you. Someone. Oh, have you ever worked with Papa Legba? Because I've never tried any of the Loa.
Yeah, that's really the first Loa you'll ever work with. Like, he's like the one that initiates you into Vodon. So typically your first work in getting initiated, will be that initiation. So yeah, the only other one that you could work with in the same capacity, like to open the gateway, would be Met Kalfu. And that's like the really dark version of Legba. Like, he also can open the crossroads.
Nice.
Like pretty much all their rituals start out with an offering, a sacrifice to Legba. Like, they call on him first to open the crossroads in order to make contact with this other Loa. And you can also do that with Metcalfu, but I don't know, I've heard a lot of people say that once you work with Kalfu, like, you can't, like, Legba won't work with you anymore. And it's like one of those things, like, a lot of people are scared to work with him. And because people do some strange things in those rituals sometimes. I saw a video, they were burning coal, which, like a coal forge, like actual coal, that shit burns like fucking crazy. It's like a blowtorch. If you pile a bunch of coal up, like on the ground, and light it, then it looks like a blowtorch. And this was during a Vodon ritual, and this dude comes up and sits down on it. Like, he just fucking sits, and it looks like a blowtorch on his crotch, and he's sitting directly on top of it, and it's burning like a motherfucker. His clothes didn't burn, his skin didn't burn. He sat there for a while just looking at the camera and just laughing, like. And you can see other people like sticking their hands in there, sticking their head in there. And what's interesting is, like, there's another ritual I watched. I forget the name of the tribe, but they go into their ritual state through dance and ceremony, and then they will stick their heads in the fire. And it's weird, is it singes their hair, but it doesn't burn their skin. And we're talking about, how hot that fucking campfire gets out there, dude. You imagine sticking your head in that for like 30 seconds to a minute?
Jesus.
Yeah, so they believe that they're raising enough chi or prana or whatever, they all got different words for the same thing, like that it's a state of mind and spiritual being where they're like, chi literally, I guess, protects them from being burned. Either they're under possession and it doesn't burn them. There's different theories or whatnot, but it's a pretty crazy shit, dude.
I've heard about that sort of thing happening, but I've never seen it or done it.
There's people that will undergo possession and vote on rights and impale themselves. And so, some Loa will do that just for fun, And I'm like, okay, yeah, you definitely want to be careful with that. But it's a potent system. It's probably one of the most potent systems out there. Along with the Arabic system working with the jinn. That's they're both like pretty potent, and pretty fucking scary too when you get into the darker practices of it. So
I know my ex-boyfriend tried to cancel the Cabal, and then Razarith publicly cursed him by calling him Metcalfu. Deleted his whole channel afterwards. I don't know exactly what happened to him, but
was that the goal? Was to like get him to delete their channel, or was it just a general curse and they ended up doing it?
That I don't know. But he took all his shit down.
Oh. Anyway,
guessing they hit him.
So we got any questions on here?
Someone said VK is my favorite K-pop star.
K-pop star. Is that what it said?
K-pop.
What's that?
Korean pop. I don't make it.
calling you a Korean.
Could be. Legba and Nyarlathotep can be the same, in my opinion. That's a new one.
Yeah, I have no idea, man. I usually don't even engage in those conversations. Like, because people, they find similarities between entities from different pantheons, and they're like, oh, this is another name for this, another name. Well, yeah, I mean, in a lot of cases, like a god will be known throughout dozens of cultures by different names, and it's like identical. But people like argue about this shit.
Yeah.
Like, it's like
people actually fight about it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Or what do you say, Ligba and Nyarlathotep?
Yeah.
The Vodon has been around a hell of a lot longer than H.P. Lovecraft's books.
True.
So I probably wouldn't agree with that, but who the fuck knows, man? I don't claim to know anything.
To be fair,
nothing surprises me anymore. So
I have little to no. I have no experience with voodoo, apart from having an occasional voodoo savant cast a spell for me or against me. I'd be surprised if Legba and Nyarlathotep were the same.
No, I wouldn't think so.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's stuff I don't like debating about.
Fair enough. Ignis Persephoron says, how does it start out when you can telepathically talk to spirits? Like, will it all of a sudden be full-blown conversations, or does it start out as whispers? I'm also starting to see orbs and shadows a lot. Unfortunately, that's kind of different for everybody.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, I've heard so many people describe their experiences, and they're all like very different. Some people you just get downloads. It's like you kind of feel this tingling coming through the top of your head, and it's like just a whole shit ton of information just kind of like downloads. It's like instant understanding, and you like actually see images in your mind. Like whenever I'm like trying to channel a ritual or something, like when I finally get the download, that's what I feel, the tingling. And then like it's like I'm a surveillance camera watching myself do the steps of the working. And then like I just understand how it works somehow energetically, and also what tools I'll need and shit. But I mean this stuff, like that's one way is that it's not something you could have made up on your own. And you could make up a lot of shit, but if it doesn't work, then it's make believe versus if you're not sure if it's a spirit talking to you or if it's your own voices inside your head. It's different for everybody. Some people can't differentiate from it. Sometimes I'll have a random thought fly in my head or a phrase, and it could be sometimes that's an entity like putting that thought in your head, and it's hard to differentiate if it's like that, like just a random thought that they inject in your mind, or a word or something like that. But I guess the best way to know whether or not you're crazy is to test out the information, see if it's legit, if it works. And you could also be talking to a trickster god, so be aware of that. They'll tell you right 10 times and then tell you wrong one time, just enough to get you to really fuck yourself. So I always question things like that. Ask myself questions. If they're telling you to start a suicide cult or something, it's probably a trickster,
Yeah, for sure.
Don't do anything crazy because the voices say so.
Yeah. From what I've seen, there's a lot of interpersonal variety in terms of activating your spiritual senses. Some people see spirits well, but can't see auras worth of shit. Some people see better than they hear. And how do I put it? There's a lot of variety. For me, when I want to be psychic, I usually have to try to channel, try to see shit. I got to put myself in that mindset. For some people, it's kind of uncontrollable. Like they're like the opposite of me. Hey, JS.
We missed a few questions there.
Yeah, we can scroll back up.
I was trying to catch him. It was moving really fast. That's why I'm sitting here looking at the screen all intently,
Yeah, it does that. Adam says,
there's one about the Hindu religion, and I don't know.
asking about the Hindu Shakti system. I did see it.
You went too far now.
Okay.
Anyway, we're trying not to miss people's questions. It's hard when you're not just constantly staring at the screen the whole time.
So the Order of the Black Dragon says, do I think the Hindu Shakti system of power is potent for me? I can't tell you if you would get good results with it. The only Hindu deities I can kind of work with are Kali and Shani. I don't know if that's a skill issue on my part, but it seems like Hinduism is pretty hit and miss for Western occultists.
Yeah, but it's also one of the most complete systems of magic out there
True.
too. Like the religion, like it's a system in itself.
Yeah.
I've heard people say it was very potent. I've worked with Kali.
Yeah.
That's really the only one that I work with a lot. I think that might be the only one that I've attempted to summon. But yeah, she's badass.
Yeah.
So
when I was younger, I kind of got peer pressured into trying Hinduism. Like the occultists around me were all telling me, like, go to Krishna, go to Krishna, go to Krishna. And I tried it. Again, this was years ago, and I wasn't that great at spirit work yet. So I don't know if this is really a failing on my part or something else. But yeah, pretty much I had a lot of trouble getting along with Hindu deities. That's the way I recall it. So this question from Adam seems to be for you specifically.
me?
Yeah. It says, hey JS, can you tell us more about the astral surgery you did with Archangel Raphael with respect to repairing someone's heart? What exact disorder did the person have, and how did Raphael cure it?
All right. I've done a few of these and made videos about it, so I'm not sure exactly which one you're talking about. I'm imagining it's the first one, which they never could diagnose the problem. Like they ran a camera from his femoral artery all the way to his heart looking for blockages and shit. Yeah, he was like a 23-year-old kid that just all of a sudden developed this condition where if his pulse got above a certain rate, he would just fucking collapse. His body would give out. And the doctors couldn't figure out what was wrong with him. And he starts telling me this. I meet him at a fucking campfire at the neighbor's house. It's like my neighbor's brother or something. And he just kind of it looked like he kind of tranced out, just starts telling me this and like telling me how he couldn't have sex with his girlfriend or even jerk off without this happening. Because and like kind of embarrassed. Like, why would you tell a stranger that?
Yeah.
It's not like a first time conversation. But anyway, after he's done talking, I was just like, so why do you think you told me that? He's like, I don't know. I'm like, well, let's talk about it a little bit more. I started asking him questions. I was like, when exactly did it start? And the more he would tell me about his experiences and what he had, what the doctors would say and how they couldn't figure anything out, the more I started wondering if it could be like some type of curse. So I started asking him about, like, you pissed anybody off lately? So it turns out he was dating. He's like, yeah, well, right before this started, I was dating this girl and she was into some weird stuff. And I'm like, oh, okay. What kind of weird stuff? He's like, well, like witchy type stuff. And she wore these symbols and she gave me a necklace. Said she made me, she gave him a necklace and said that it was like he wasn't supposed to take it off. He's always supposed to wear it to be close to her, some shit like that, whatever she told him. And he said, so he put it on, and after that, like anytime he would take it off after that, he would get anxiety. He's like, yeah, he said he got to where he only took it off to take a shower, and he would set it next to on the sink. And he's like, dude, I would be having anxiety in the shower from having that necklace off.
Damn.
And I'm like, at any point did this strike you as weird? He's like, yeah, that's why I said it was weird. She's doing some weird stuff. And so anyway, I guess she got crazier and crazier. So he broke up with her, and that's when right after that's the first time that he collapsed and developed the heart condition. And he was still wearing this necklace. And I was just like, where the fuck is the necklace now? He's like, well, I made myself get rid of it. I was like, what'd you do? And he said he walked out into the middle of a river and like knelt down in the river and took the necklace off and dropped it in the water and then piled a bunch of rocks on top of it and then like washed himself. I was like, who told you to do that? And he's like, I just felt like this is what I need to do. I'm like, okay, really interesting. Anyway, so I took him over to the house. First thing I did was an exorcism. I pronounced the exorcism against any entity that might be affecting him in a negative way, and I also pronounced it against whatever said heart condition was, trying to drive out the energy that was causing the problem with the heart. You can do this like with diseases like say cancer or something. Like that's how I would start if I was trying to heal a tumor, is by exorcising the tumor. All right, so you're attempting to drive out the energy that is causing the physical manifestation of that tumor. So it's like weakening it before you go in for the kill, you know. And that's actually a painful type ritual, but you're cursing the tumor specifically while summoning entities of protection and drawing their sigils. Like you isolate the part of the body with a circle and a triangle and then a sigil of whatever you're working with, whatever entity. Like if you're going to curse the tumor and try to attack it and kill it, then outside of that on their body, you would draw a sigil of protection and evoke that entity to protect their body from, so that you could isolate the curse to the tumor. So you're like death cursing the tumor. And, you know, so anyway, that's how we started. He started shaking, standing behind him, saging him. He's sitting in front of the campfire, my right hand on his head, and I'm speaking this exorcism over and over. And like he starts like shaking a little bit, you know, like he wasn't faking. I mean, he was like not convulsing violently or anyway. But when I started speaking against the affliction, that's when he started like shaking. Next thing we did was a not magic ritual to detect, bind, and remove any curse that had been placed against him, or any spell, mind control, whatever. What this does is it lifts the curse from you, amplifies it, and then hurls it back wherever it came from. So it's like a rubber band. You don't have to know who did it. It could be 20 people that cursed you, you know, and you might detect 20 fucking curses in the string. And whenever you amplify it and hurl it back, it just goes back to wherever it came from. So that was the next thing that we did. And after he burned that string, he started crying.
Damn.
And like he just broke down bawling. And he looks at me, you know, I'm just sitting there letting him do his thing, letting him cry and shit, you know, like just kind of giving him a minute. And so he stops crying and he looks up at me. I was like, "You all right, man?" He's like, "Man, I've been waiting my whole life to feel something like that." I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Feel something real." He's like, "I went to, you know, church, I've done, you know, this, you know, Reiki stuff and crystals and whatnot." Turns out he was really interested in spiritual stuff, not black magic, but, you know, he was interested in stuff like Reiki and yoga and whatnot. And he was searching for God, I guess. He wanted to have a spiritual experience to confirm, you know, what he believed and figure out what he believed. And so that is like already, you know, it seemed like a major change just from doing those two things. And then next day we went to the pet store and picked out a white dove, and we hiked down to a waterfall. It's downhill to get to the top of it, and then it's uphill to get back to your truck. But it's where I did a lot of my rituals, especially for like healing. So I drew the sigil of Raphael on this tree with lipstick, actually, you know, bright red lipstick, so it would stick out, and put the sigil underneath him on a piece of cloth that he was laying in the circle, and then I also drew the sigil on over his heart, and I told him to stare at the sigil on the tree anytime he had his eyes open during the ritual, to open his perception to Raphael, while I attempted to get Raphael to reach inside him and fix the problem, whatever it was. And that's exactly how it worked. The ritual required the blood of a loved one, so I brought his brother to do the ritual with me, and then my ex-partner was also with me. So we all three pricked our fingers and traced over this sigil in blood, and I spoke the evocation and invocation of asking Raphael to literally possess him, to reach inside him, which is a stage of possession, and fix whatever was wrong with his fucking heart. And after I made the petition, I put the chopping block on his stomach, and then I cut the head off of the dove and spilled all the blood onto the sigil of Raphael over his heart, asking Raphael to transfer the energy and the life force of the dove through his sigil with my intention to fix his problem and give it and use that energy to heal him. You know,
Yeah.
like whatever his body needs in order to fix itself, you're giving it the power to do it.
Gotcha.
So anyway, I do this, and it's pretty much the end of the ritual. And I closed everything out, and I just kind of sit there and wait for them. I'll let them lay there as long as they want to. Sometimes they have communion and whatnot.
Awesome.
And like I couldn't tell if he was asleep or not. By the end of it, he was laying there with his eyes closed, and he'd been still for a while. Anyway, he sits up, and he like takes off. He puts his shoes on, takes off running up the trail, like back towards the truck, and then runs back down. He was just like, "Dude, it fucking worked." He's like, I feel normal again, and he hasn't had an issue with it since. The doctors were just as confused when he went back and was better as they were to start with, because they couldn't figure out what the fuck was wrong with it. So I think part of why it was so easy to heal was because it might have actually been a curse that was causing this. So magic was able to fix it. But there's also been instances where I've attempted to heal things that weren't caused by a curse.
Yeah.
And the same technique has worked. So it's definitely a spiritual thing that's taking place. As long as the spirit answers, then I mean, you're just kind of facilitating it. You're not healing them; you're facilitating. Their body's healing itself with the energy you're giving it, and the spirit is helping make sure that is used in the correct way. So yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, that necklace you talked about, that sounds like a obsession domination type spell.
Yeah, it was. I think it was a spelled item, which I think who was it? Like Chuck, Uncle Chuck used to talk about spelling jewelry. EA's talked about spelling jewelry. It's like you buy a necklace or a ring or a crocodile tooth necklace for your buddy. You put a spell on it. Or enchant it to do a specific thing to the person that wears it. It can be protecting them, or it can be something baneful.
Yeah.
And that's when they come in contact with it and put it on, and the spell takes effect. So.
Yeah, someone did that to my late friend Josh. This chick got him this necklace, put spells on it to try and control him and shit. He figured out what it was doing and like took that shit off, and then she like admitted that she did that shit. Said like, the second you put that necklace on, I've always owned you.
So she ratted on herself.
Yes, she got heated. Admitted to everything. I saw screenshots of it and shit. There's another trick people use that's kind of similar to that. It's really common among Zoomers, from what I've seen. They'll they'll charge up a rose quartz and give it to the guy that they want to fuck, and it's supposed to like force them to fall in love.
Yeah. This Arabic practitioner, they were a client, and they were talking about some of the stuff that they had experienced or experimented with and whatnot. And they said that they told me about this love spell is where you take something sweet. It could be a piece of candy, it could be a piece of cake, it could be a piece of chewing gum, something sweet to eat. And you hold it in your hand and speak this it's not even a conjuration. It's like in the name of Allah, this blah 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 in Arabic. I can't remember exactly how it goes because it's been a while, but you have to say it in Arabic. So you say this fucking spell over whatever this is and give it to the person. If they eat it, then they fall in love with you like almost instantly.
That would probably work.
No.
I know.
She said it did.
Yeah.
That's how she got her husband.
Damn.
She said the first time I did it just to try it, and I didn't think it would work, and then she felt bad because it worked, and she was like, "Fuck, I don't know how to undo this." Poor guy. And her husband supposedly proposed to her like the next day after she did that to him. So, I wouldn't fuck around with something like that.
So we don't ethically condone like people casting spells to force them to date them.
No, that's like giving them a freaking roofie or something.
Yeah.
If they don't like you and you try to force them with mind control, you might as well just whack them over the head. I mean, it's the same. It's just as bad.
That shit's getting kind of popular on TikTok. I've seen it's gay guys and women doing a lot of that shit where like they most of their content image will be about like using magic to force people to date them. It's some weird unhinged shit. And it kind of concerns me that it's catching on.
Well, I mean, it doesn't concern me because I don't give a fuck what people do. Like, I mean, like this, if you misuse it, then it's gonna bite you in the ass. Like the voodoo, the Vodon love obsession mind control spell that EA published in Spider and the Green Butterfly. That it usually eventually ends up killing the person that you do it to. Like they end up bringing about their own death by by doing something stupid. Like it makes them fall so irrationally, and they can't control like instantly, supposedly, and it ends up being a curse for the Bokor too, because then you got a for real fucking stalker on your hands. Like,
Yeah,
like they go nuts, and that would be hilarious to do to like, you know, if like you were one king at war with another country due to their like queen or something, but you wouldn't want to you wouldn't want to try to get a date that way.
no.
Personally, if I don't I think that love magic really the only way you should use it is to like to find a partner. I don't think you should focus on someone specifically. At least for me personally, I wouldn't want like if I got to put a spell on a chick to get her to date me, then I feel like a loser.
Yeah.
So I would, if I was going to do a love working for myself, then if I was trying to, you know, if I was alone, if I was lonely, then I would do it. I'd leave it up to the spirit. You know, I would evoke like, you know, whatever entity I was trying to summon to help me with it, and I would say, look, you know, this is what I'm looking for. You know, I'm asking you to, you know, bring a person like this into my life. You know, don't do this. You know, what they do is they manipulate things for you to be in the right place at the right time. Like you're looking for a partner, so you don't have to influence them to like you because they're already. You just have to meet them. Like randomly meeting people is, especially before social media. Yeah, like you could live in the same town 20 years and never run into the person and have a conversation with them, you know?
Yeah.
And so they manipulate things in your daily life, like make you forget your car keys or lose your car keys. So you leave the house 5 minutes late and then you get to Starbucks 5 minutes later than you would have been there. And then you bump into your future wife or husband in Starbucks whenever, if you hadn't lost your fucking keys and you would never met them.
Yeah.
And you also have to be in the right place at the right time. Because if someone's having a bad day, or if she don't feel pretty that day, or somebody's feeling sick that day, then they're not gonna want to fucking have a conversation. You know, it's gonna be the wrong time to run into the right person. So they put you in the right place at the right time for the sparks to fly. I think that's the most healthy way to use love magic is to manifest a lover, not to try to seduce someone that doesn't like you.
I did something like that. I've done it twice. Aphrodite basically gave me a pact. Turns out she's really good for helping like with casual sex, friends with benefits. I wasn't seeing anybody at the time. I was like, yo, I really need to do casual sex because I had never fucked. I'd never fucked anyone I didn't have feelings for. I always wanted to and I had chances to, but I wasn't ready, you know, at that age. Took me a second. So I think I lost my virginity at 22. My first real friend with benefits was 24.
Man, you're not a slut, bro. I figured you would have been a huge time slut, but no.
I did have a hoe phase.
Yeah, you're pretty virtuous, man.
I have looked up statistically, my body count is fairly high compared to the average person, but it took me a real while to be ready to do it.
Yeah.
I had serious intimacy issues and shit.
Well, it's not something you should take lightly or do randomly, in my opinion, because you're exposing yourself to that person energetically. Like you can catch like spiritual STDs too, you know, or parasites. So it's condom ain't going to protect you from that. I don't think you should merge your energy with someone else's. I don't think you should make that decision lightly. But there's people that would, you know, feel just the opposite. So
right,
my opinion.
when I finally felt ready to go out and like actually do casual sex, I basically made this pact with Aphrodite. The instructions were like, the goal was find me the person who's right for me, help things go well between us, not like coerce, but like,
Yeah.
help things go well.
Using it
And
to manifest a relationship.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then it was third part was, helping me not be insecure when I'm going about it,
Yeah.
I've slept with 4 people off that. And like, not only were they good casual partners, I learned a lot of shit from fucking them. I learned a lot of shit about sex.
That's good. As long
Yeah.
as you were being safe.
Oh yeah.
I think personally, I think love spells and obsession spells should be used as weapons, not as something to find a partner. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, like you could put an obsession spell on your enemy to obsess over another enemy, or you could put a spell on your enemy's wife to fall in love with a homeless guy down the road. Like you could use love and obsession magic to really fuck with someone's mind.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I don't think it's healthy. It's more of a curse than anything. It's just weaponize it if you're going to use it like that. But, anyway.
But yeah, non-consensual love spells should not be used against anyone other than enemies.
I did something funny one time.
Yeah.
Was that put a love spell on a straight guy to fall in love with a gay guy.
What?
Just yeah. I don't know if anything ever actually happened physically, but yes, it did work.
It's funny as shit.
So yeah, there's this dude. He was like a gay basher, and he kept picking on this gay dude. They were in like college or whatever. It was like, man, we stopped beating up gay people a long time ago. I thought. And he was like, yeah, this guy just will not stop fucking with me. I was like, why don't you put a love spell on him, dude? I was like, make him fall in love with you. Not only will he feel horrible about how he's treated you, but you'll make him think he's gay, and he'll think it's his own thoughts.
I didn't know that was possible.
Yeah.
Damn.
Anyway, that's a way you can weaponize love and obsession spells.
Yeah.
It's fucked up.
Yes.
Hey, the dude was an asshole. All right?
True.
I didn't do nothing that was going to hurt him. It might have hurt his butt a little bit, but nobody's forcing him.
That is really funny. There was a love spell I put on my abusive ex and kept her blocked just so she could just to fuck with her. I think she deserved it. Let's see.
Got any more questions? Let's see.
Yeah, let's scroll.
It stopped moving, so I don't know if people stopped typing or what.
Oh,
now it just jumped like a motherfucker.
It wasn't loading.
Hey, there's L the Alchemist in the house. What's up, brother? We weren't able to do anything Saturday, but we definitely want to do a live with you. Hopefully while he's still here.
Yeah, I'll be down if you're available.
Which he'll be here. He doesn't know yet, but he's not leaving.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Made him an extra special room in the crawl space. It's got a TV. It's got a mini fridge.
He actually has a really nice guest room. That shit was spotless.
You gonna put you in no dirty ass room, bro?
Can I use magic to become Avatar: The Last Airbender? No.
You can identify as Avatar: The Last Airbender. So yeah, you can magically identify. Nobody can say you're not.
True.
So yes.
How do you know if an evil spirit, or rather an astral parasite, is in your home?
Well, there's lots of ways to detect something like that or come to that conclusion. You definitely, it would start out with like how you feel. Like, do you feel like there's an intruder in your home? Do you feel like there's an evil spirit fucking with you and your family? There's like if nothing's off, then why would you think that to begin with? Then if something is off, then I mean that's a good question to ask yourself if there's no explanation for what's
Yeah.
off. It's all how you're feeling. It's chaos and dissension. Like all of a sudden everybody's just not fucking getting along or whatever. That's when you can, that's when most practitioners will start like cleansing their house and speaking, you can exercise the house and cleanse it, and then summon a spirit of protection, to rid you of anything that is there.
Yeah.
You don't have to know for sure, but you use dowsing rods. You can do a blind evocation if you know how to perform evocation, force whatever it is, like you would use like a Western sorcerer technique, where you're constraining and forcing. Which if it's an enemy, if it's an intruder, then I mean you need to shoot that motherfucker. You can trap it, you can enslave it, you can negotiate with it and give it someone better to fuck with. Like, not only will I give you this to make you more powerful, but I got the perfect target for you if you're just looking for someone to munch on.
Yeah. What I do is, like, if I really feel like something's off and think a parasite might be the problem, I like meditate and I let my spiritual body appear in my mind's eye, and then like I can kind of see if there's a parasite or a damaged chakra. Not that I have chakras anymore, but
Oh, did you
Yeah.
remove your chakras too?
yeah, I dissolved them.
I didn't know you did that.
Did it by accident.
I don't understand. I don't know. I mean, I know like a good friend of mine, Enoch.
Yeah.
Enoch Petroselli wrote a book about it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I've heard people say that that's not possible, and I've heard like I guess you and Enoch and several other people say that it is possible. I've heard of people that supposedly did it and regretted it. Like somebody tried to hire me to restore their chakras after they let somebody remove them, and it affected them in a negative way. And I'm just like, yeah, I ain't fucking with my chakras, man. I'll supercharge them. I'll make sure they're working good, not blocked. But I don't know. Some people, Chuck said, like, you can't. It's not possible. If you remove your chakras, you'll die. And I'm like, okay, so how the fuck? I mean, because the guy that one of the guys, I won't say his name. I watched him do like a live. It was like a live class where he was walking everybody through, anybody that wanted to participate, how to remove their chakras. It was just a guided meditation.
Yeah.
Like he's sitting there and they were literally taking their hand and imagine their astral hand reaching in and grabbing, imagine what their chakra would look like, pull it out, and then you just imagine it catching on fire. Like, okay, that's a cool guided meditation, but I don't see how that would be a sufficient way to remove chakras. So how the fuck did you do it?
So one thing, I think Enoch and Sarah tend to describe chakras as something negative. I think chakras are great as fuck, but I think it's possible to dissolve them and unify them.
Make one big chakra?
Yes.
Okay, so you're not removing them, you're joining them together.
Yes.
Okay, well that makes more sense to me than fucking taking them out and destroying them.
Yeah.
Like, okay, if you're talking about somehow merging them.
Yes.
All right, so yeah, it's not removing them.
Yeah.
It's like taking a bunch of bubbles and putting them together to make a big bubble. Right?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. It's just like an energetic evolution. I have found it beneficial. So what happened with me was like once I did that shit, I sort of had this black sphere around my head with a thin, transparent layer over it. There was a big white sphere in my chest, much bigger than a chakra. White sphere above my head, black sphere below my feet. That's what my chakras change into. And when I compared notes with Enoch after I did this, apparently his shit changed the exact same way. Like, same whole layout.
So what are the benefits of that? Because I target chakras in my like healing rituals and stuff. Like I utilize them not only myself, but I mean, like like just for example, whether using a radionics box or whether we're chopping the head off a chicken, if I'm able to direct that energy towards a person, but somebody with erectile dysfunction, then I send it all to their root chakra. Right. So like if you have no, like, how would that work? I mean, we wouldn't be able to do that. It would just absorb into fully.
There was one chick who tried to send me some positive energy. And I noticed it got in the sphere, but it was kind of like floating above me. I asked her, like, hey, you said you sent me positive energy. Were you aiming for a specific chakra? She's like, yeah, I was aiming for this chakra specifically. I'm like, about that. I don't have chakras, so you kind of missed, but it's here. I'll take it in.
All right, so the darker side of that is attacking chakras specifically, and baneful magic. So if someone attempted to attack one of your chakras, would it just absorb into your one big chakra as a general attack?
To my understanding, it's harder to get a hit on because the energy flows more freely. Like, it's harder to hurt me.
So what? Okay, other than that, what's the benefit? Like, what's the main? I'm really curious. Like, what's the main thing that removing, or let's not call it removing your chakra.
Yeah.
Let's call it
Dissolving.
Conjoining.
Yes.
Merging your chakras.
Yes.
What's the number one thing that you gain from that, other than being harder to harm?
Hard to say exactly what the effects are. It feels good overall.
So do you not have to worry about them getting blocked?
Yeah, it's less likely to get blocked and like conflated.
So if you wanted to do like a practice, like like a meditative, like raise Kundalini, like would it be easier for you to raise Kundalini, or can you even do that?
Oh yeah, it's easier now.
Specifically, because if it's so, it'd be like raising it'd be the one big chakra. Right?
Yeah. Feels easier. I've been using the same technique I used for Kundalini work since I dissolved it. Feels easier.
Is it easier to move energy?
In what way?
Well, and not Reiki, but in a similar way to the Reiki practitioner would, like me sitting here pushing energy into you to try to fix something, heal something, like they do in their healing practices. I use the same kind of techniques in spell work, and I'm pushing the energy into the fire or into the effigy. So but sometimes it's easier than others. Like sometimes I really feel it flowing, and I can tell somebody, like, hold out your hand, and I'll like put my hands, above and below, and it'll start getting hot, and almost immediately my heart will start pounding, their hair will stand up, and I'll run my hands up their arm, and they're like, woo! So yeah, sometimes I can do that, and other times I can't. So I'm just working to make it easier to move energy through you and into something else.
I don't notice any changes in directing energy. By the way, I should grab the power cord real quick. Be right back.
You said this thing was going to last.
I
told him we need to plug it in. He's like, no, we got half a battery. I'm like, eh. All right. Let's see. We got any other questions here? What do you guys think of Thomas Leroy? I don't know if he knows who that is or not, but I do not. Are they an author? You have to tell me who they are. Says Daniel C. Please talk to Marvis about what? I'm not. I don't. Maybe you're talking to someone else in the chat. Let's see. We got any more questions? Spirits in your home. We answered that one. As far as that goes, it's safe to just go ahead and exorcise the house and perform an evocation to rid any presence that's there. If I even think something's there, I'm going to do that. Says I did let's see, Cheese God. So I did a while ago a vampiric astral working on a target of mine a while ago. I'm kind of a beginner for vampiric magic and did the Hecatian ritual in your website before doing it. That must be your ritual. Okay.
I have a banishing rite, like a version of the LBRP that calls an Hecate.
The Order of Black Dragon. Can a Hindu practice vampire magic or what?
Yeah.
Anybody that wants to can. I mean, that's an energy. That's moving energy from one place to another. It's energy work. So I mean, yeah, anybody can do it theoretically. I'm not going to say everybody is capable of doing it, but or not everyone actively can do it, but everyone's capable of learning how to do that, regardless of your religion or whatever.
Yeah, agreed. Some people do it subconsciously, don't even think about it.
Yeah, some people don't know they're doing it.
Yes,
and they wonder why people don't like them.
Yes,
for real. Like there's that person they call them. They're the life of the party. They show up and like party gets better. It's like they're amplifiers.
Yeah.
It's like they amplify the energy that's already there, whether it's good or bad. So if everybody's having fun or whatever, then they can show up and it like amplifies it, or they can change the atmosphere by telling a joke or whatever. Like energetically affect people in a positive way,
Mm.
and there's people that are the death of the party.
Yeah.
It's like everybody's having fun. This person shows up, and after a while, like everybody's in a bad mood or not feeling good, and they're feeling good, and they wonder why nobody wants to invite them to parties. Like, man, I love going to parties, but nobody wants me to come. That's because they're fucking vampires. They're feeding off other people's shit and also rubbing off on them in a negative way. There's a way to fix that. If you're born like that, which I think some people are because they don't know they're doing it, I think they go through life wondering why they're unhealthy and why they feel like they need to fucking latch on to people and feed off of them. They target empaths. Like if you're one of those people that just loves being an empath and thinks it's a good thing, then you will attract these parasites, as I call them, human parasites. They don't make enough energy to sustain themselves in a healthy way on their own. So either that or they got a parasite feeding off of them, therefore they're always depleted. So they need to vampirize you in order for this thing to have a food source.
Yeah.
And their health is usually really bad.
Yes.
And they're usually, like just a miserable type person. So one way to cure that would be to get rid of whatever parasite is causing them to be like that. Or if they are just naturally like that, then you should just, I don't know, snuff them. You should just snuff them. No, I'm kidding. You could do like a healing rite to try to fix whatever's wrong with their soul. So it's not sustaining itself.
My opinion on born vampires, like they don't have a parasite and they aren't even aware that they're doing it. I think I am a born vampire. I read a book, Michelle Belanger wrote about it. So what I learned to do was I just take small amounts of energy from like strangers when I'm in public, just small amounts. Now, small amounts, that doesn't harm the person. That actually kind of like...
I don't know. We're all black magicians here.
Yeah.
Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, no, I'm
knock them out.
Yeah.
As long as you're not killing them.
I prefer to like take small amounts of energy from different people because it benefits them. Like it, in the same way that like giving blood once in a while is good for you.
Do you hear something?
I hear crickets.
No, I hear like the speakers making static noise. Is it the fan in your computer? Has it got a fan? Is it getting hot?
Could be. Should be fine.
All right, cool. Just making sure it wasn't the speaker. It's coming from the bottom of the laptop, though. Sorry.
Yeah, so my recommendation for born vampires is just feed a bit off different people. It'll benefit them, benefit you. But if you feed consciously, then you won't have to subconsciously feed by being a class clown, draining everybody, sleeping around, whatever method you use.
Yeah.
It'll give you more control over your behavior.
You can also use radionics to juice yourself up with energy.
Yeah.
You can also take the entire life force from a sacrifice all at once, like in the deification rite.
Yeah.
I think that's the cure for vampirism. I give them so much fucking energy that they don't need to feed for 6 months.
Damn.
But it does wear off.
Yeah.
So if you did that, something like that for yourself every so often, you wouldn't have to feed off other people's filthy energy. Because I've experimented with vampirism, like in public and bars, places, martial arts tournaments, shit like that. When I was learning about it, just to see if I could do it and if it worked. Absolutely. So when I was experimenting with this, I was standing in line at the bank. There's a dude standing in front of me. I was like, all right, we're standing here for a few minutes. Like I started, I had a technique I was experimenting with. It was like an astral forked tongue that would stab into, specific chakras or whatever. So I start siphoning his energy and I start having like mad anxiety all of a sudden. And I was like, this energy does not feel good. Now I feel like shit. And I recognized that it wasn't mine. Now I just felt like I needed to go get rid of that nasty energy. I didn't figure out exactly what it was until he turned around and I saw his face. Like the look on his face, he looked like a dude that was having a panic attack.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you would only want to feed off really healthy, not just physically healthy people, but mentally and spiritually healthy people.
Yeah.
If you're feeding off like really negative, unhealthy people, then that can't be good, right? Not unless you're running it through a filter somehow, which you can do that with radionics, but I'm sure there's all kinds of techniques.
Yeah. I've also noticed that if you feed on someone while they're dancing, exercising, fucking, like you get even higher quality than they would usually give you.
Yeah, sit in the back of a seminar where they're getting people all riled up, like a Tony Robbins seminar.
Yeah.
back row church Sunday, sit there and vampirize all the energy. You know, especially the crazy people. They're like, wow, flopping around. Which ones are those?
I don't know.
Oh God, I want to say Pentecostal, but I'm probably wrong. But they're the ones that like flop around on the floor whenever the spirit gets in them and shit. Yeah, go vampirize those fuckers. That's a lot of energy they're giving off.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah.
Someone says, when I was at Krishna's temple for 6 weeks, Krishna never really reciprocated the energy this person was giving him. It was kind of lame. I feel like he didn't like me. Shiva always felt super close. Yeah, when I tried with Krishna, I could just feel something off. And then the person who had encouraged me to try working with Krishna told me, like, oh yeah, if you don't view him as like the highest being in your religion, he can't work with you. But then again, that's word of mouth, so take that with a grain of salt.
I usually just tell people, you know, it's not for you. Then, you know, this is not, you know, a good system for you or a good fit, you know, to work with an entity. It could be that, or it could be that you're doing something wrong, like, you know, saying this, whatever it is, vote on what it could be any, you know, if there's a specific conjuration you're supposed to speak for this entity out of respect, like then you're not doing that. Or there's a, you know, specific way, you know, ritual to summon them, chant, whatever. I'm saying, depending on how specific it is, if you're doing something wrong, then they might not be answering you for that reason.
Sure.
So I mean, it could be either one. Maybe they just don't fucking like you.
Yeah,
you know, spirit just might not like somebody.
Yeah, both are possible. It might just not like me, or I might have done it wrong, or Krishna's a cunt. One of the three. I go for my right, but it's always great to see you all live. Hello, JS and VK. I introduced a new friend to VK, and he likes VK style. Thank you.
Awesome. I like your style too, brother.
I like yours.
He's awesome.
Yes, yes. I've heard of people trying to use jewelry, specifically banded around the neck for bindings curses. That would make sense.
Yeah, like a leash or a collar.
Yeah.
Or a chastity belt. One of those little penis cages.
Yeah, I know.
Puts it in a cage. Yeah.
I thought I misheard you for a second. What is the subastral plane? So the subastral plane is a realm right between the astral plane, where you go when you astrally project, and the physical plane. Most spirits can't travel there. Some can. Pazuzu, Abaddon, they can do it. But if you see something appear in the subastral plane, it's probably organic in origin. Not always, but usually, to my understanding, the shadow people appear there. Sometimes when you really see something potently manifest in the subastral plane, it can feel like you're seeing the most powerful being you've ever been around. And it just feels that way because they're closer to physical than anything else you've seen.
Let's see. This person says, love the art so proudly on display. Background? Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Now I need that packed. I've been thinking about making a video about how to do it. I've just been holding back because
again, big time.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I won't be back.
Can you get astral parasites from a horror movie? I'm gonna say that would fall. Like, chances are no, unless the producer was a black magician that like put a ritual in that movie to you know, like cause a demon to possess the film through technomancy and expose everyone that watches it to it.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't think so, man. I mean, parasites. No. I will say, if they're making a movie and they're using one of VK's fucking conjurations that's real, like what show did that? Use one.
Hereditary.
Yeah, they used one of his conjurations. Was it demon summoning?
Yeah, it was my chance to Paimon.
Yeah, so they put a real conjuration in the movie, discovered by a real black magician, to summon a real entity, calling that entity by its real name. So could you potentially be exposed to that energy by having that conjuration spoke in your home over the speaker?
Yeah.
Possibly.
I doubt you'd get like parasites though.
No.
You probably feel the energy, if anything.
I'm saying, if you're speaking of real conjuration, like whether it's coming out of your mouth or the speakers, it's possible to accidentally summon something.
True.
You know?
So could you start with this guy? I have to pee real quick.
All right. How would you get rid of spiritual parasites? All right. There's a number of ways to go about it. There's several different things that work. If I had to make a recommendation as to what works best for me, I would say evocation and exorcism. Um, Exorcism followed by evocation. So if I felt like I had a parasite, the spirit that I would probably go to, my go-to entity for something like that would be Ophal or Raphael, Azrael, or even Lucifer would be excellent for that. You would want to first speak the exorcism against anything and everything that's not supposed to be there, like any parasites that could be in your body. And once you do that, then you want to call on your spirit guides to come and surround you in your home with protection. And then I would say perform the evocation of Ophal, which his job or his main function is to remove curses, spiritual bondage, heal addictions, remove parasites, and restore a person to full spiritual health. So this is not wine, but I would pour a glass of wine and I would place it on top of his sigil during the evocation after I had blooded it. And there's actually a video of me demonstrating this on my YouTube channel. So you would then put a drop of your blood into that wine. You don't have to use wine, you use water if you can't drink wine, use grape juice. And you ask them to bless, consecrate, and infuse that elixir with their power and essence so that it will become the antidote for your affliction. So it's like if it's a parasite, like a spiritual parasite that's taken root in your body, you're basically deworming yourself. All right, you're creating the antidote for your energetic or spiritual affliction, the antidote for your addiction, or the poison that will attack and kill, rid you of the parasite. All right, it's kind of like like eating a bunch of garlic will get rid of parasites. Mosquitoes won't bite you if you smell like garlic. So things like that. But yeah, that would be the most efficient way, in my opinion. There's people out there that perform rituals that you can hire to remove parasites and things like that. But I mean, if you're going to do it yourself, then yeah, I would work with Ophal or an entity that is similar. Let's see, what is the best offerings to give when working with demons for beginners? Well, best offering is blood. All right, and that's not just with demons. That's with pretty much any entity that I've ever come in contact with. They all want blood. They all get energy and power and sustenance from blood. And offering your blood to a spirit is the most intimate thing that you can do. Like, you're connected to that entity forever, especially if you're offering your blood on their sigil to them, and then you're putting some of your blood in a glass of wine and asking them to transmute it into their blood so that you can take their power within you, exchanging blood. That's the best offerings that you can give, or one of the very best. And there's lots of different offerings you can give. I like powdered bull's blood to either throw in the fire or sprinkle on the incense in little charcoal discs. Flaming alcohol, flaming brandy. Like buy an expensive bottle of high grade whiskey or whatever. Whatever type of quality alcohol you want to offer, and pour them in a glass and light it on fire. Don't use glass. Use like a metal basin or metal wine glass. But yeah, I mean, your blood is going to be the best offering. Then the blood of a sacrifice. You might be saying, well, beginners shouldn't offer their blood to demons. Like, okay, well, beginners should definitely not just offer their blood to random any spirit. Like, if you're a beginner, then you want to first research the entity that you want to make contact with, meditate on their sigil, determine whether or not it's a good idea, and then perform the evocation, make other offerings, and introduce yourself and propose to be allies or ask for whatever favor you want. But if you want to be their ally, if you still feel that way at the end of the evocation, then you can offer your own blood, and it's up to your own intuition as to whether or not that's a good idea.
Yeah.
But I offer my blood to almost every demon I summon, even the painful ones. Even the scary ones, because I want to be as close to them as possible. I want to be their allies. And, I'll say that there's a fine line between like arrogance and confidence, or making smart decisions, and stupidity. You definitely don't want to be arrogant or careless, but I do my homework before I'm going to do a working like that. And I might work with the entity for a long time, several times before I give them my blood. But yeah,
That's what I recommend too.
Yeah, it's really up to you. The way I see it, every time you perform an evocation, successfully make contact with an entity, then that entity will forever be your ally, unless you intentionally disrespect them or intentionally, cast them away from you, attempt to sever the relationship. I want as many allies as possible. So, like, every time you perform an evocation, like, you are adding an ally to your list, and offering them your blood is the greatest form of respect. True. So, if you really want to make strong allies, then you don't need to be afraid to offer your blood. But, make sure you're making an educated decision. But there is a risk. There's no safe way to practice black magic. There's always a risk. And you can fuck yourself up. I'll fuck myself up a bunch and have to figure out how to unfuck myself, and then end up learning something really awesome in the process of unfucking myself that I'm able to help someone else with later down the road. But it's no fun when you fuck yourself up. So just be careful. It's not something you want to do intentionally. But if you practice long enough, at some point you're gonna fuck up. And, I got one more of these other ones.
Oh, okay.
And key is, like, you can't run the other direction when shit gets scary. You need to be 100% committed before you ever start, especially with a path working or something like that.
Yeah. Path working can be particularly intense. Yeah. I've definitely done one and regretted it and got scolded by the spirit I did it with for trying it. Great to see the Black Tower here. Waylon. He's a cool guy.
Yeah, he is. We've done a couple of podcasts together.
You have?
Yeah, me and him.
Yeah, I've collabed with him once.
Yeah. It's been a while, but
yeah,
they should still be on my channel.
Maybe you had a past. Okay, that's for someone else.
Hold on, go back up just a little bit. What is that talking about? Anxiety one?
I mean, pretty much.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Lucifer helps her with anxiety. That makes sense.
Let's see. More questions. How long have we been? An hour? Went by quick, but we haven't been on for an hour.
Hour into minutes.
Let's see.
To answer Ong's, all my chakras unified. So the transpersonal and subpersonal ones included. You ever heard of those?
I was reading a question, so I didn't catch it. What? No, in my head. Like, what did you say? I didn't catch the last part.
Have you heard of the transpersonal and subpersonal chakras?
No. Sure haven't.
So the transpersonal ones are like 5 obscure ones that float above your head. And then the subpersonal are like 5 that float below your feet. I like them.
I've never heard of it. Let's see, L, the Alchemist. Do either of you know any spirit that is great for communication with ancestors in dreams? Well, I would think that anybody, like if you have like a patron spirit that you work with all the time, I think just about any of them could help you with that. But I would, if say maybe Shimyaza would be a good choice. But I don't know. I've never heard anyone say, "Oh, this is the entity to cause you to communicate with your ancestors in dreams." So, I mean, I would say working directly with your ancestors would probably be the best if you can, if you're performing ancestral magic, then there's conjuration. You don't not most of us don't know our great grandma's name. So, I mean, if you're talking about really distant ancestors, and I would try to use your blood to make contact with that bloodline, the spirits of that bloodline, and ask them to come to you in a dream.
Yeah.
That would probably be the first thing I would try.
Yeah, I agree. I've never gotten a message from my ancestors in dreams. I can say Thoth Tahuti, the Egyptian god, he's really good for ancestral shit generally. But yeah, I do think he's right about trying to go to your ancestors directly, if you know how to do so.
This guy says, can spirits forcefully remove your chakras and replace it with another one?
I've never heard that happening.
I'll say that a spirit like Belial or Lucifer can probably do anything they want. So I don't know. I have no idea. Say if it's possible to remove one at all, then maybe so. But what he's talking about is not removing them. He's talking about joining them together.
Yeah.
To make one giant one. So I mean, if they're powerful enough to harm you or kill you, then I guess they could attack your chakras like that. I don't know.
They can attack your chakras. I've never heard of one being removed and replaced with something else.
I just don't understand why they would do that.
Yeah, I've never heard of that.
I mean, they just cause you to have a car wreck if they wanted to hurt you that bad, probably. But I'll say anything's possible, but I've never heard of that.
I know that demons can empower your chakras.
Yeah, Chris Gordon. I think it's a question for you.
What is your most recent experience with the supernatural that was something you will easily remember forever? Last really unforgettable shit. There was a creepy ass entity that kind of showed up in the middle of the night, intense as fuck, vivid as fuck. I was just getting in my car. I look up, I've turned the keys, and I just see some real vivid shit. And it wasn't just for a second either. It stayed potent. To this day, I don't know what that was.
When did that happen?
That was like a month or two ago.
Cool.
I just put my Astral armor on and ignored it.
Let's see. We got any more questions? Is everybody having fun? You want us to stay on or hang it up? It's been like an hour and 15 minutes. How long you want to stay on, bro?
I could. I think you have to get up somewhat early though.
What is it? It's still early.
It's 12:47 a.m.
No, it's 1:47.
Oh, it's 1. Oh, fuck.
Yeah, I'll be fine now.
You sure?
Yeah. I'll stay up for a few more minutes.
That's more personal than I think.
I'm not seeing a lot of questions.
Yeah, actually.
JS, do you see yourself ever getting married again? Yes, with a lot of careful thought. Yeah, I mean, if I met the right person, then yeah, I definitely wouldn't rush into anything like I did the first time. But yeah, I've met my dream girl already. Like, am I planning to marry her? Fuck yeah. So yeah, I can see it happening again.
Yeah, I've never been married. I hope to one day.
I mean, it's definitely not something you want to do more than once.
Yeah,
and most of us get married when we're young, and we've been divorced at least once by the time we're 30. Some twice, it's like I did it once, and I made a bad decision. And going through divorces suck. So yeah, you definitely want to make wiser decisions afterwards.
Yeah,
if you're going to do something like that again. But yeah, I could see me getting married again eventually.
Glad to hear it. Have y'all gotten warnings from demons before? I got one from an unexpected demon I've never worked with before, who told me to watch my back, and like a minute later, a car almost hit me from behind. Yeah, that happens.
I've gotten lots of warnings from them. I mean, they typically will try to warn you if you're about to really fuck up.
Yeah.
And most people think that they're like, oh, that little voice in the back of your head that's telling you don't walk down that dark alley, and you do it anyway to get clubbed over the head. And the little voice inside your head, they tell you, always listen to that little voice. That's probably like your guardian spirits telling you not to do something. Either that, or it's your future self regretting that decision, and you're quantumly connected and all time is present. So like you start getting anxiety, like, oh, I shouldn't do this, even though it makes sense that I should do this right now. For some reason, I really feel like I shouldn't. And you do it any fucking way, and then like you're sitting there like, man, I just wish I would have listened to that little voice. That little voice is you, motherfucker. That's you in the future thinking back and reliving that and regretting your decision and wishing you could go back and change it somehow. That little voice in the back of your head is your future self. Sometimes, I think.
Yeah. It kind of depends on what's influencing you specifically. But yeah, I've definitely gotten warnings like that.
She's God wants you to marry him. It just jumped. You can't see it anymore. You just got proposed to. Yeah, proposals in the chat.
BK, I did your crippling incantation of Legion. It was the strongest shit I've ever felt. Oh yes, the little hex I do.
Fuck yeah.
Glad to hear it, man.
You have to show me that one.
Gladly. Simple as hell.
Any thoughts on Grimoire? Do one of you guys ever work with them? I never have.
Grimoire? I think I wrote an article about her forever ago. But I haven't talked to her forever.
I don't know who that is. Is it a spirit or a person?
Goasic demon.
Oh, okay. All right. No, I never have. I've heard the name. Yeah, I'm not familiar. Let's see. L, I think he's going to bed. Hey, thank you, brother. Thanks for jumping on. Yeah, tomorrow, 11 tomorrow. But we got to call L and plan what we're going to do live with him next.
Yeah.
Let's see. Any more questions? What are your experience with Cernabog? I've just had the one recent experience as a ritual he and I did together, but that's a question for you, bro.
Yeah, we technically did two. There was one simple spell and one sacrificial, right? For me, he's really good at ripping away other practitioners' protections. For people who he covers one of the 13 different subcategories of Measurine magic, and it's not my subcategory. I do work with him to destroy other people's protections, but that's mostly it. There was I do think just being around him and witnessing him evolves you spiritually. People work with him for discipline, and one time another practitioner performed an empowerment ritual over me, calling on him. That next night, I had this really vivid symbolic dream that actually taught me a lot of important shit about life. It really corrected my course.
Awesome. Somebody asked, Jump said, is the mind the most, how was it worded? I was asking if the mind was the most important thing to the magician and something like that.
Hard to answer that.
Let's see. She's got wants to tickle your beard. You ain't tickling my beard, motherfucker. You can tickle his.
Whose comment was it?
It's up.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Let's see.
Is the mind the most important part of magic? It's hard to say what the most important part is. The mind, body, and spirit are all connected.
I would say the mind and the heart because they can't figure out where you are inside your brain.
Yeah.
Like they've been mapping and studying the brain, trying to figure that out forever. Like what part of your brain are you in? Your consciousness. Like where this cortex does this. This part of the brain controls the heart and this function, this part of the nervous system. Like all these different parts of your brains do all these different things. But what determines your personality, who you are, like where is your consciousness? I think it's in the heart, quite literally. Like, you can literally die from a broken heart.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Yeah, I've heard of that.
They can fracture the heartstrings or tear the heartstrings, and you can go into cardiac arrest. So they always say, like, oh, you got to listen to your heart, or oh, that guy's got heart. He's got the heart of a lion, or when you get your heart broken, they say heart broken because it literally hurts right here. Like, but yeah, I mean, the mind controls everything, but it's the most important part of magic, like you said, mind, body, and spirit. It all operates together to experience and control and manipulate this reality when you're performing ritual magic. So I would say, yeah, I mean, if you have, if you're brain dead, you're definitely not going to do good with magic.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you have no heart in what you're doing, then it's not going to be that potent either. So
Just why does everyone want to touch our beards?
I see it.
Oh, one comment asked to tickle both of our beards, and then someone else wrote, just stroke them a little bit. I don't know.
My girlfriend would kick y'all's ass if you touch my beard.
I've actually never had someone tickle my beard. Oh, Organic Black says that the right of the Bell God is worth the money. Much appreciated. Yeah, I still take paid rituals. He does too. Someone wrote J.S. Garrett for president. I support this.
Yeah. Nah. Yeah, y'all don't want me to be president.
J.S. Garrett for dictator.
Yeah. JS does not ever need to be in charge of anything like a nation or a country or anything like that. I only want to be in charge of myself.
Yeah.
I don't want to rule over anybody else. But if my ass was sitting in that chair, we'd be blowing a lot of shit up. A lot of shit. A lot of shit would get blowed up. I wouldn't have to use radionics to blow shit up. I'd have a little red button for real. There should be no reason to fight wars if you're like the most powerful country in the world. True. Or even a superpower. No, they should be done with a phone call. Yeah, like, you're gonna stop fucking doing this or that, or we're just gonna blow your ass up.
I'm pretty sure if I was president, I would get drunk and then nuke Antarctica. No particular
Flood the
reason.
world.
Would it do that?
I guess if you nuke the polar ice caps, it would. Cause that's probably how the aliens flooded the world in the past. They probably nuked our polar ice caps, and then somehow, whenever they were ready to unflood the world, just like scooped all that water back up and refroze it somehow.
I just wanted to nuke an unpopulated area. I didn't know I'd be destroying the planet. Holy shit! Never mind.
That's why he doesn't need to be president either.
I want to see a nuke in person. We end up rich. I don't know what that means, but I think we got all the questions. You see any? Oh, someone asked about Andros. I've got an article about him.
Rich as fuck from the 3B. What's that? What's the 3B?
That's all that. I don't know what it meant either. I think Instagram is the best place to contact me nowadays. My email is.
Any tips on how to visualize? Well,
practice.
No, just visualize. Like I mean, that's like something that we all do all day, every day. I mean, you're always, anytime you're thinking about something, especially laying there going, you're visualizing something all the time.
Yeah.
So the tip is to focus and control what you're visualizing in order to manifest things.
Yes. So your visualization really doesn't have to be perfect. Don't overthink it. But some people like to train visualization. I don't do this myself, but they'll grab a random physical object like that cigar or this lighter, and they'll try to imagine it with their eyes closed as vividly as possible. Try and turn it around in their head. That's what I've seen recommended to some people. To me, I don't really feel like I've ever had to train visualization, nor do I think that I'm worried that some people overthink it. Maybe you're like that, maybe you aren't.
She's got, where can I contact you for rituals? We use Facebook, wasn't it?
I recommend Instagram.
Instagram.
Instagram's good.
What's your experience like with, I can't pronounce that.
Odysseus? It's been a while since I worked with him. I wrote an essay about it. I don't remember what all it was like off the top of my head.
I've never heard of that entity. So.
Goetia Demon.
Gotcha. I definitely don't remember reading about it. Never worked with him.
I can't name them all either.
Schaumburg says you're the high priest of couch.
That is true. They were talking to me. There's an inside joke about
VK
couches.
is the high priest of couch.
That's true. So I think we got all the questions. Oh, wait, no, one more. Can Christians that believe in Jesus as their external savior still ascend despite not recognizing that they are indeed God?
I think we haven't had any Christian terrorists on here during this live. Last couple I've done, we had people full on praying for our souls in the chat. It was awesome.
Yeah, I was getting bombarded with those last time.
It's giving me a wizard chubby, man. Okay, yeah. Let's see. I think Mr. Cheese is obsessed with you, bro.
Yeah. Try Instagram then, Cheese God. Either you're having technical difficulties or try Instagram.
Damn it. These little cigars will not stay lit for long.
True.
Let's see. We got any more questions? I'm still finishing this one.
Oh.
All right. About ready to hang it up then, if that's all the questions?
Yes, sir.
Well, I want to say thank you to my brother VK for having me on a live on his channel and for visiting me here in my home. We've had a fucking blast this week, and we're not even halfway done. We're gonna be doing some more lives and some crazy rituals. With some more videos. And check out both our Patreons. We both have Patreon. Mine's brand new, just started it a few months ago, so definitely check that out. And fuck yeah.
What type of shit do you post on Patreon?
Mainly ritual demonstrations.
Hell yeah.
That's where I teach people how to do my rituals that I'm not willing to share with on YouTube. One, they're too explicit. I couldn't demonstrate them there. And the other thing is, if I'm going to give away my secrets, then you're going to pay me to do it, because everyone I've taught for free has used shit against me. So if you try to use my own shit against me, then at least you paid me to teach you.
Yeah, that's the way to go with Patreon, exclusive content.
It's exclusive content.
Yeah.
Like actually demonstrating my sacrificial rites, like walking you through saying, okay, this is what you need, and this is what we're gonna do. This is how the spell's gonna go. This is the instructions for how you can do this yourself, and then I demonstrate myself doing it in front of you in a way that you can just about do it along with me.
Oh yeah.
Or you can watch it and then go recreate it in your own style. I always tell people, add your own pizzazz to shit, make it personalized. But what matters is the science of the technique of the ritual, like how you have the basic things that are necessary. Like this is how you do this, and then you can add to it if you feel the need, But it's teaching people how to do all my crazy shit that I've never showed anybody, dude.
Hell yeah.
I got one with a cow heart. I got a cow heart in the freezer down there.
Damn.
Yeah, that's going to be one of the next videos I do for my Patreon. How to give someone a heart attack.
I've never seen a cow heart before. You got to show me later.
They're huge, dude.
Yeah,
I got two of them. We should thaw one out and eat it.
No, we should not. Wait, or we could.
We could eat the cow heart. We could eat one and then use the other one for ritual. I've never eaten cow heart. I'm just saying.
I haven't either. Can you cook that?
Yeah, it's meat.
No, okay.
I've eaten deer heart.
We should bind someone to it before we eat it.
That's actually funny you say that. It's kind of what I do in the I call it a voodoo heart, like where I'm trying to evoke the person into the heart and quantumly entangle that heart with their heart. So like whenever I start stabbing the shit out of it, or I like to stake it down to a fire ant hill, and then the fire ants slowly chew away and eat at it. There's lots of nasty things you can do with a cow heart.
Damn.
Let's see. Hail Wiener.
Hail Wiener.
Hail Wiener.
And on that note, we're ending. In unison. 3, 2, 1.
Hail Wiener.